The name Charles Cheung is more than just a celebrity in Hong Kong, it is a legend. He was the founder of Wins Entertainment, the man who helped shape the careers of megastars like Stephen Chow, Cecilia Cheung, and Jet Li. But his story goes far beyond movies. Charles is also a member of the powerful Cheung family, which has deep ties to the Sun Yee On Triad, one of the most dominant crime syndicates in Hong Kong's history. Rumors have long suggested that he had indirect connections to the mysterious death of martial arts superstar Bruce Lee. In one infamous feud, gang rivals even dared to open fire outside his film company. Not long after, those involved mysteriously disappeared, never to be seen again. A difficult childhood despite his power and influence, Charles's early life was far from glamorous. Born on December 16, 1948, in Lufeng, Guangdong, he grew up in hardship. His father, Hyung Chin, was the notorious founder of Sun Yee. While this gave Charles a strong underworld lineage, it also left scars. His father was expelled from Hong Kong in 1953 for triad activities. As a result, Charles barely saw him, growing up without a father figure and enduring neglect from within the family. Raised in the dangerous Kowloon Walled City, Charles witnessed firsthand the violence and dominance of triad lords who ruled the slums like emperor. His own father was once called the Emperor of Kowloon, but Charles never lived like a prince. His mother, Chung Kim, was only a concubine in the Huang household, constantly bullied by the more powerful second wife, Lam Wei. With 13 children from 4 wives, young Charles grew up in a fractured, hostile home, where he and his siblings lived in poverty and endured humiliation. Yet, even in such a toxic environment, Charles developed resilience and intelligence. Unlike many children from broken homes, he maintained good relationships with his half-brothers, and understood that only unity could keep them alive in such a ruthless world. Struggles in Taiwan and Bruce Lee's shadow at the age of 22. Charles and his younger brother Jimmy Hyung, then 20, traveled to Taiwan, hoping to reunite with their father and build their careers. But Hyung Chin, with too many children to care for, offered them no support. Charles felt betrayed and disillusioned, forced once again to fight for survival. Meanwhile, in the early 1970s, Bruce Lee was taking the world by storm with his films The Big Boss and Fist of Fury. His rise to international stardom only deepened Charles's sense of injustice. While Bruce was conquering Hollywood, Charles was still struggling just to make ends meet. Fate, however, would soon connect the two men's destinies in an unexpected and eerie way, entering the film industry. Returning to Hong Kong in 1972, Charles and Jimmy were scouted by Shaw Bros. Studios, the biggest film company at the time. Charles made his debut in The Head of the Dragon and Snake in 1973, but the film flopped, earning only about 180,000 Hong Kong dollars, a laughable figure compared to Bruce Lee's blockbusters. Then, tragedy struck. On July 20th, 1973, Bruce Lee collapsed at actress Betty Ting Pei's apartment and died at just 33 years old. His death shocked the world and devastated those close to him. For Charles, however, this marked the beginning of a new chapter. He would soon cross paths with Betty Ting Pei herself, and their connection would draw him deeper into the spotlight. Love, betrayal, and the rise of Wins Entertainment in the mid-1970s. Charles and his brother Jimmy decided to found their own film company, Wins Entertainment. With Charles's good looks and martial arts skills, and Jimmy's sharp business sense, they built a brand focused on action cinema. Charles also pursued love. He eventually married Betty Ting Pei, Bruce Lee's former lover, but their relationship was haunted by Lee's shadow. Betty turned inward, spending her days in Buddhist temples, unable to move on from the past. Their marriage collapsed. In 1980, Charles found new love with Tiffany Chun Lan, a glamorous Taiwanese model. Unlike Betty, Tiffany was ambitious, loyal, and deeply in love with Charles. She chose him over wealthy suitors, including the son of Taiwan as the richest tycoon, proving her devotion. Together, they built both a family and a business empire. Tiffany encouraged Charles to rebrand their company with a name symbolizing lasting prosperity. By the late 1980s, Wins Entertainment had become one of Hong Kong's most powerful film companies, producing hit after hit. With partnerships with directors like Wong Jing and actors such as Stephen Chow, Andy Lau, and Chow Yun-fat. The Hewing brothers dominated the golden age of Hong Kong cinema. Clashes with the underworld, but Charles could never fully escape his family's triad legacy. During the 1980s and 1990s, Hong Kong's film industry was plagued by gang influence, extortion, kidnapping, and forced contracts. Yet no one dared touch Wynn's Entertainment. Everything Canal, messing with Charles Cheung, meant going up against Sun Yee on one gangster, nicknamed Mad Dog. Chan T-men tried to test him. Chan stormed Wynn's offices demanding Stephen Chow for a rival project. Chow threw him out. Hours later, Chan returned with a gun, shooting at the company gates and injuring one of Charles's bodyguards. Not long after, Mad Dog vanished without a trace. Rumors spread that Charles had ordered his elimination, though nothing was ever proven. The protector of stars over the years, Charles became not only a film mogul, but also a protector of stars. When Jet Li had a fallout with his production company and his assistant was killed in a gang hit, Charles stepped in, offering him safety and support. Under Charles's wing, Jet Li's career flourished internationally. Jet was so grateful that he later made Charles the godfather of his daughter. Similarly, when actress Cecilia Cheung's gangster father fell into debt, Charles and Tiffany intervened, shielding her from retribution and helping her rebuild her career. These acts cemented Charles's reputation as both a feared underworld figure and a powerful benefactor in Hong Kong cinema. Family troubles for all his success. Charles's children brought him grief. His younger son, Jackie Hyung, got into fights, faced lawsuits, and was even jailed after assaulting a taxi driver. His elder son, Jack Hyung, TSC, whom Charles invested over 100 million Hong Kong dollars into for a leading role in League of Gods 2016, was widely ridiculed for poor acting, earning the film the nickname Trash Epic. Still, Tiffany and Charles stood by their children, using their influence to shield them where possible. Yet even their wealth and power couldn't guarantee their son's success in the harsh world of cinema. The living legend now in his 70s, Charles Cheung remains sharp, stylish, and commanding. His health and presence show no signs of fading, and you wonder if he will one day produce an autobiographical film, A True Life of a Legend. That could become a box office hit of its own. Chadosunga. Story is a saga of crime, cinema, betrayal, love, and power tale, where the glitz of Hong Kong's movie world collides with the shadows of its underworld. What do you think about Charles Cheung's legendary life? Could his real story be more dramatic than any Hong Kong film? Comment below, hit like, and don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories.